On the Wado Radio Show.
Yes, it's DJ Wado. It's the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music. It's ministry, man. And I'm very excited to introduce our guest today, man. I've been aware of this guy for quite some time, like before he kind of burst into the public space, man. And it seems like his platform just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it definitely matches his talent, man. John Givez is with us, man. What's up, my brother?
Yo, what's shaking?
Man, not much, bro. Not much, man. I've definitely shared this with you privately, man, but I just wanted to congratulate you again on your new situation with Interscope Records and all that, man.
Word, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to see what's good with it right now, you know?
I feel you, brother. I feel you. It's interesting, man, because like most of the time, I think with Christian artists, so to speak, we kind of get put into that space of really just being Christian artists and our music marketed towards the church and all of that. And it's like you've kind of busted out of that space, man. It seemed like you have an opportunity to really reach a lot of people with this next project you put out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Well, for me, coming up in it, I mean, you've seen it from like the back of the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the Gap, just a young kid. Like I never really categorized myself as a Christian artist.
Right.
I think I just categorized myself as John. You feel me? Learning about life.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way back to Little Engine I Could mixtape, it was always based on what was going on in life. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I was finding out that God was real, you know, while real life was happening around me. So I feel like now, you know, that's kind of shined through every project, regardless of the distaste that people out in the world have for, you know, faith-based music. I think that the way that I portrayed my faith in every song allowed me to be in this position I am now, because it was never about proclaiming something before I confess something. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people as Christian artists proclaim a lot, but in their personal lives are going through hell, you know?
Yep.
And there's just a disconnect with the world with that, I feel like. So I feel like the reason I'm in this position is because I've always tried to keep it 100, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, it's I have a really good pastor friend, man, and he hit me with something. I think I've said this before on the air before, but it convicted me on so many levels, and I would just love your thoughts on this statement. He said a lot of times, because it reminded me similar some of what you just said. He said a lot of times the church wants you to believe before you feel like you can belong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like we want people to share the exact same viewpoints that we do before we will embrace them, instead of just kind of recognizing that, you know, life is a journey and everything just doesn't fit nice and tidy in a box all the time.
Yeah, bro, I agree with that sentiment fully, because I feel like as I've like been within this CSH community, you know what I'm saying, just like rubbing shoulders with people, there has been a sense of not belonging, or like this kind of sense for me where it's like, what's that kid about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, is it a front? You know what I mean? And really, like, for me, it's always just been growing up and having questions about it all. You know what I mean? Questioning everything. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's kids out there. I know there's young men out there, young women out there just like me. You know what I'm saying? So I never wanted to categorize it to just Christians. You know what I mean? It was bigger than that for me, because I don't think Jesus wanted to establish something that excluded anybody. I think he was like, you know, willing for anybody to come. So, like, for me, it's always just been, I go into the CHA scene, and it just seemed like for instance, there's one time we did a show in Delaware, and there's this lady outside. I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I was kind of around the corner because I didn't want the church people to see me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of just ashamed. And there's this drunk lady that came. I could smell her alcohol on her from like, you know, maybe 15 feet away. You know, she was walking up to me.
She was lit.
You know what I'm saying? And she was faded, you know. And she asked me for a cigarette, so we shared a cigarette. And she got to asking me why I was out there, and I showed her the tour bus that was like right across the street. I said, we playing at this church right here. She was like, okay, well, I can't go up in there. I was like, why not? She was like, well, you know, they ain't gonna have me up in there, you know. I was like, what? Come with me. You feel me? So we went up in there, and everybody looking at her weird, which I suspect, like, you know, I knew that was gonna happen. I went, took her to the merch table, gave her a shirt, a CD, you know what I'm saying? We chopped it up for a little bit in there, and she felt uncomfortable still. And then I took her back outside, and then she low-key hit on me. Old lady, drunk. She low-key hit on me. She's like, what's your name? What's your name? She was like, what's your name? I was like, John. She was like, oh, I used to have a boyfriend named John. I was like, oh, hell no. And then this lady, this young lady pulled up in a Jeep, and it was her granddaughter, so she hopped in the whip, you know?
Yeah.
And I just remember that show specifically feeling the most comfortable with her.
Wow.
Out of everybody in the place, because when the way I watched how people looked at her when she walked in the room, I wasn't cool with that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, with her, it was like she wasn't trying to put on no facade. Where I felt like everybody else in there was, you know, kind of putting on a facade. And there's maybe like 40 people in there that night. It was a small night, you know. But it was just stuff like that. I mean, and then in that same night, we was doing a show, and then we hear that there was some kid right in the alley. I was just smoking a cigarette at, you know, getting into a fight over some drugs. And I'm just like, man, like the real issues is going on outside, you know. And I've always had that heart. I've always known that, you know what I'm saying. And I've always known that if I could bring these people outside in this building, then something might work. But now I'm feeling like even in this building, there's trouble, you know, like. I just need to bring people together, you know, at these shows and do my part, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking different these days about my role, and that it's not really nobody's you know, shit but mine, you know what I'm saying? It's something that God and me have been building since I was a child, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. You kind of alluded to, kind of mentioned that, you know, you didn't always feel like you fit in the CHH community. And I mean, I always felt like there was, I mean, just my opinion, I'm one person, but I always felt like there was a space for you. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like there was a lot of people that related to you. I definitely felt like people appreciated your talent and your gift. You know what I mean? And I mean, yeah, you're not, you're different, but I feel like we're all different. But I would just, you know, from your vantage point, how come you felt like you didn't necessarily fit in? And if I'm well, now I'm not saying that the people that I met, you know, made me feel as though I wasn't, you know, able to hang, or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the people that I met, or but there was times, you know, showing up at Legacy or Flavor Fest or stuff like that, and just getting these weird questions, you know what I'm saying? Like straight to my face. You know what I mean? Like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? And I'm looking at these people like, why are you asking me like this without telling me your name? You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just stuff like that just made me feel like, okay, this isn't really where I need to be. This isn't where I could be doing the most work for my cause. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I feel my cause is. But as far as like the embrace, like definitely there's people that embrace me, but I think that's because they heard through whatever, you know, language that other people couldn't hear through, or they heard through whatever, you know, content that other people couldn't hear through and see what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I've always felt like there was a tension within that community, you know, where certain, you know, keyboard warriors would get at me every day or every other week. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, the online presence of CHH, you know, it's gruesome. You know what I mean? Like all of it. And it is everywhere you go. I mean, it is everywhere you go. But I just realized, like, I can create my own, you know, tribe of people, you know, whether it's online or out in the world, like just in real time, you know what I'm saying? So I just realized that I don't have to really depend on this market, CHH, or this market of anything. I can make my own market, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And,
you know, man, I think one of the things that I always felt like was a welcome addition that you brought to this community, and even your cousin, even Jay Givez, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He did this a lot too, is you've always had, I think, artists who, like, you always had artists who preached in their music, right? You know what I mean? With like a sermon, like, you know, Shylins, the Flames, the early Lecrae, the Trip Lees, like early KB stuff. Nothing wrong with that. Even early Andy Mineo stuff when he was C-Light. Nothing wrong with that. Always a place for that. You always had people that talked about their struggles, but it was from a perspective of after you went through the struggle and now it's a testimony, right?
Yeah.
You obviously had some of that, but you also have been open about a lot of stuff that you deal with and go through now, these different things. And so, like, I feel like maybe, I mean, I don't know all the questions you got, bro, but I feel like some of it was just, you were actually bringing content to the table in such a way that was like very real, very authentic, very in your face, that people just wasn't used to.
Right. Yeah, and I understand that. But my thing is, it was becoming a monument that I couldn't just keep staring at. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I've recognized just in living that people love to, like, see something happen and then build a monument around it. So you mentioned, like, all them people like in the prior, like, I have really have no knowledge of CHH like that. Like, as far as, you know, all the people that came before I was mentioned in that lineup. Like, I really have I heard it was Craig, and I heard of the Breaks. You know what I'm saying? And then I met people, and then I went back and listened to some stuff. So for me, it was like, or actually, I heard of the Truth too. I actually heard of the Truth through Pandora.
Yep.
And like, you know, I was listening to their stuff, and I was like, man, this is crazy. I never heard people talk about God on the mic like that. You know what I'm saying? And that did something to me. But it was also, you know, a real time. I was coming out of a lot of, you know, crazy things, you know, drug use.
Yeah.
Even, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being out here, you know. And I was raised to know God, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen, as I've grown, how God has been with me, even in my most trivial ways, you know what I'm saying? So I guess just right now, like, me showing how I'm living, is really just so people can see the real thing, like how it really goes, you know, the ups and the downs. I don't really care to be criticized anymore, because I realize it's fickle. Like, it don't really even matter what people think of me. I just want them to see God use me, like, and I want them to see me flawed too. I want them to see all that, so they can know it's not a fake thing. It's not this, you know, perfect lifestyle, or, you know, it's not always positive. I'm not always thinking positive. I'm not always doing the right thing or the best thing, rather. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always learning. You know what I'm saying? I just think people should be able to see the real process.
What do you say to people who say, man, you shouldn't show all of that? You know, you may cause other people to stumble, or he's just doing that for show, like that kind of stuff.
bro, like when I'm videotaping something, it's happening in real life right in front of me.
Sure.
So it's not for show or to get a rise out of anybody or any of that. I'm just showing people. So the people that feel as though I shouldn't post that should just not follow me. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? If they feel like they're the ones stumbling, or if they're just the ones speaking up for the ones they think are going to stumble, just don't follow it. Don't follow it. Because I'm not really trying to be followed. I'm just trying to point people to the one to follow, even in my flaws. You know what I mean? I know where I'm flawed. I think other people got to start being honest and upfront about their flaws too.
Yeah, I actually personally think in this kind of social media space, authenticity, I think it better positions people to evangelize, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? Like, even if that's not your goal, I feel like when people can relate to you and kind of understand where you're coming from and what you've been through or what you are currently going through and know why you have
it
hope.
Gives you more. I feel like it just gives you more room to speak to them when you do really have something to say.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
when you have really learned something about the way you're living, you get more room to speak to people who have seen you mess up the same way they messed up, or have seen you succeed the same way they succeeded, or want to succeed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like, for instance, there's this dude that lived down the street from me, a pastor. He's been trying to get with me for some time. And it's like, I know him. I know him because he introduced himself to me. But at the same time, the introduction is just, I don't know. Sometimes I just can't just open up to this person because he's definitely putting on something that just makes it seem like he wants to be a hero rather than a friend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of times when we try to evangelize, we put on this hero complex that we don't need. We don't need it.
Yep. Well, and I think sometimes, man, it's like, it's just better to be a friend than just, trying to be this hero thing. So, like, let me give you an example. And I don't even know if you remember this conversation me and you had, but I was telling you about a situation I had with a church that really left me wounded. Like, really, you know what I mean? Really left me hurt, and I never shared it publicly, right? And you was like, yo, man.
I think you was talking about me, telling me that last time I was out there.
Yeah, so you remember, right? You remember.
Yeah.
You was like, yo, why you ain't never said nothing about that?
Yeah.
I was like, man, man, it involves people, and you don't want to. You was like, bro, you know how many people done went through that and be meant. So, long story short, I shared a piece of it in a post, bruh. I had so many people hit me up about that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. So listen, man, I get it, bro. I get it.
So look, when people see me smoking on my Snap, you know what I mean, or whatever, and they'll hit, like, I'll get kids that hitting me and asking about this stuff. Like, what do you think about this? What is this like? I feel the same way you feel, but I can't tell the people around me because I don't think they'll accept me, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that I've been dealing with. Where do I go? And I'm just trying to be the person that facilitates that conversation. And as I go day to day, realizing that I'm a leader, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta figure it out myself so that I could tell these kids something, you know what I'm saying? And do my part. But I'm not about to act like I have the answers, because I don't. I've been searching for them since I started putting my songs on wax, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always been a curious mind, you know what I'm saying? And it's always been about figuring out God, like, what am I here for? You know what I'm saying? So as I do that, I got to talk about what I'm going through, whether it's a vice or whether it's a victory, you know what I'm saying? I got to talk about it. And I can't, at this point, and I'm going to get into why Like, I'm no longer with King's Dream. Like, at this point, like, I can't do it. Like, it has to be kind of grimy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and King's Dream wanted to stay very clean and just the content. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They wanted to. He wanted to stay very. The issue was, I won't get into everything that made us split. You feel me? Because that's not really everybody's business. But I will say that there was a point where Ruslan came to me and said, "This is the music we want to make. I don't think this is where King's Dream is going. So I'm willing to let you go."
Wow.
And that's what he said. And I said, "Wow." Well, I was kind of already feeling like, you know, especially going on tour a few times, feeling like my vision is not the same as his, you know, because of situations like, you know, going and doing a show in Delaware where I just told you about, and it's just like, you know, there's a disconnect in me. But we're making money, so it's all good. And you know what I'm saying? So now I don't really care about the money that could be made. Just keep playing safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to talk about what's really going on with me, because there's people going through it too. And it's not all pretty. And I don't always have the best way to put it. Sometimes I gotta say it the way I gotta say it, because there's other people that feel exactly like that, and they don't have the courage to say it on mic. I do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, even with King's Dream, it was just like it was time to split, bro. You know, I was 18, 19-year-old kid coming around, 25 now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown up.
It's been that long, bro?
Yeah, bro. I take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? This is all my cabot. I'm not saying that to brag or boast. I'm just saying, like,
Sure.
I came to this point and I got to own it. You know what I'm saying? And I can't be sitting here, "Oh, Ruslan, is this song okay? Ruslan, is this song?" No, it's not his decision to make. That's mine, you know, and that's just what it came to for me. That was like, all right, this is the time to leave, you know. As far as everything else, man, you know, it's all positive vibes. I don't have no ill will towards King's Dream. I wish them the best as they continue to do what they do. But I feel like what I'm doing is what's got me to this point. And now I'm at a place where it's like, you know, take the mask off. Not that there was a mask really on, but I don't need to carry this hero complex. I need to confess. I need to share my burdens. I need to do that because there's people out there, the same ones, living real life in real time, not just, you know what I'm saying, posting inspirational quotes on Facebook. They're like going through real things, you know, and it's real out here. So they're like, I need to express myself so that they can have a voice to listen to, or a voice to cope with what they're going through, even if it's not Christian enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's real, bro. And I think on, you know, on both ends it takes a lot of maturity to understand and realize that, you know what I mean, like where we are right now and us having two different visions, let's figure out a way to kind of part and still be, you know, whatever it is.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
go ahead.
We've parted ways. We really don't speak much now. You know, maybe later on in life, but you know, there's still, you know, you gotta.
Wounds, man. Time heals wounds, bro.
Yeah, you know, it's time. Time is gonna do what it do. But I definitely don't regret nothing. I don't regret anything. I don't even regret linking up with him. You know what I'm saying? It showed me what Christian hip hop has shown me is the weight of words. The weight of words. If you say something, you better mean it. If you say something, you better mean it. And just know, on this next project, everything said on it, I meant it. And you can judge me based on that. And I'm cool with it at this point. Any criticism, or he is this or he's not that, it doesn't move me, because that's not the voices I need to be listening to.
Yo, do you feel like you in a way have a lot to prove now that obviously you're getting ready to put out your first project without King's Dream, and it's on such a big platform?
I used to think like that, but I realized I don't have anything to prove. I got it. Like, I got it. Like, I proved it already. That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? So now it's time to just perform. I got to perform. It's not even about, like, these days I'm not even like, it's just about performing. It's not about thinking about it. It's about doing it. And, you know, letting these growing pains out on wax. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to premeditate a song to, like, grab the listener into a relationship with, you know, Jesus Christ. Like, some people are just trying to hear what they're going through. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So my job is to, like, play the music that reflects what I'm going through. And what I'm going through has a lot to do with God. So naturally people are going to hear that. But I'm not going to try to force them into a relationship with him because they're listening to my music. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? I definitely am going to show them my relationship. But I'm not going to try to force them into one.
That's real. Yo, is there ever a possibility of us getting a Cousin Neighbor project?
Man, bro, you know, the way things are happening right now, you just really never know. Like, it's crazy what's happening. It's crazy what's just how God is working things out right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay,
I can't really speak on none of that, but it's just crazy how things are kind of just moving and how it just seems like it was meant to be all along. So,
yeah. I still, man, it still trips me out, the story of how you guys connected, finding out that you all are cousins.
Yeah, bro.
And then y'all having this amazing music chemistry.
You know? And it's more than music. It's not, that's why the music works.
Yeah.
It's you know what I'm saying? It's like we got chemistry just as individuals.
Oh, that's clear.
So, yeah, you know, so that just works for a lifetime. Real talk, that's gonna be a lifetime membership right there. So as we continue to just move and impact people, we're gonna move together. People gotta realize that. That's one dude that I'm gonna move with together because he's solid and he's not, you know, we always helping each other. It's never, I want this in order for this, or, you know what I'm saying? We just help each other. It's not like a give and take. It's more just like give. Feel me? Giving.
Yep. You know, man, when I was talking to Beleaf about his project, one of the things that, you know, I could kind of sense from him was that he felt, I don't think he used the word pressure, but there was just a certain energy because he was working a lot on this last project, this Beleaf in Fatherhood, by himself. And it was like one of the first times in a while, I think, that he was really working on music without the two of you. You know what I mean? And man, I would love your thoughts. Like, I know, you know, you've been super tight with him, you know, all these years as well. Just your thoughts on his project and his movement and what he's got going on right now, man.
Man, like, well, first I want to publicly apologize just for, like, not being there. I needed to just space myself away and just figure out what it was. You know what I mean? That's my brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's been there at the darkest times, just in my family, just coming into my family, marrying my sister. Like, he's just been a brother for real.
Yeah.
So to see him where he's at right now, you know, with this Beleaf in fatherhood and just championing them little ones, you know, the little nephews, the new niece, just championing them. Man, it brings me to tears sometimes watching the videos.
Wow. When
I was listening to the album, they played me the album and I heard them rapping on it, and I was just like, that's the next generation.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. So what he's doing is legendary, and it's gonna provide for his family, and it's also gonna provide for other families. And Beleaf is one of them guys that, like, he gets a lot, like, he knows it's time to give a lot too. You know what I'm saying? So as his platform elevates just in that space with Beleaf in fatherhood, and him still just being around music as far as writing songs, like, he sent me a hook for my project that's just gold, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait to drop this stuff. But He's just all around thorough dude, man. That dude right there is all around thorough dude, and he kept the Dream Junkies together. And he decided when, you know what I'm saying, it was time for him to remove himself from continue stuff, and it really did speak to both sides, like my side and Ruslan's side, and I think that's why at the end of the day it really did dissipate into just, we're gonna keep the movement going. To Dream Junkies, like I got it tatted on my skin,
Yeah.
like I am a Dream Junkie, but it's not about a rap group anymore, It's not about that.
That's real, bro. That's real, man. I feel like, dude, like it's so crazy because I feel like Beleaf is just tapping it, finally
he's
tapping
just
into
started.
what, and it's not, he's not even close to his peak, but it's just like he's just,
Nah.
you know what I mean?
Bro, he said I'm leaving rap behind to be a storyteller.
Yeah,
How G is that?
yeah. Especially
how
when you as
G
good
is
as him
that?
at that. Yeah,
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like this dude is just all around great,
yeah.
Genius. And I'm just so glad that he's in my family, because if I don't do nothing for the world, he for sure is, So, you know what I'm saying?
I feel that, man. What is your vision for your music career and even just your life, bro? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you bigging up Beleaf, bro, but you have a lot of creativity in yourself. Even like I always, bro, like I'm more of what your Instagram, bro. Like just how creative you are with your visuals and, even apart from the music, bro. Like what's your, where do you see yourself going in 5, 10, 15 years, bro?
So, I got this idea of a thing called The Side. It's THASIDE, The Side, and it kind of originates from just where I'm from, Oceanside, California.
Yep.
But it's this platform, The Side, like standing up for where you come from and what you believe in. And I believe that all around the world there's like these opposing sides, but the side is a collective of people coming together. All around the world there's like opposing sides, but the side is us. It's us. So I have this website called theside.us. And I'm just gonna figure out ways to give back to my community, figure out ways to affect the world with clothes, with, you know what I'm saying, just stuff that'll generate revenue to then do things that prove that the side is like all of us, you know what I'm saying? On some real philanthropy, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what when I tried to go to school, I was trying to get into that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where the creativity comes, where I just see beautiful things and regular things. And you'll see on my Instagram, a lot of it's just regular life living, hanging out, but it's, it's beautiful. And my goal is to just give back to the community in that way, and get out of debt, you know what I'm saying? Get my family out of debt, like all that. My brother doing his thing with that already, it's kind of all working itself out, bro. Like my sister's a teacher, my mom works in the school district. I'm gonna get back into the school district eventually once I can get a couple albums out and just, hopefully have some M's in my bank account and just keep that music program alive and like all that stuff, get into movies. I want to get into acting eventually. Collect old school cars, start a car club. Like, I don't know, bro. I got a lot of ideas.
Hey, I can see you doing all that though.
For real, bro. I'm really trying to do all that,
Yeah, I can definitely see you in the muscle car, bro.
Yeah, bro. The muscle cars, I'm on them. I'm about to get those, and I'm probably gonna keep my dreads to like 30, and then cut, and then I'm gonna just go for a whole different thing. I'm probably doing some Idris Elba stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know.
I can see you acting, bro. I can see it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get into it all, but it's gotta take it one day at a time.
Sure. So, Your next project, man. Are you thinking about an album? You thinking about a mixtape? You thinking about an EP?
It originally is a mixtape, but it might be turning into an album. I'm kind of just in between those two right now. Either way, it's gonna play like an album. Either way, it's gonna play like an album. It's gonna be played through like an album, put together like album. But I'm wondering if it's enough songs for a mixtape, or if I should do, like a full length album with it. So yeah, man. It's a lot of honesty, a lot of me, just kind of freeform painting. I realized that now I came to a point with music where when I go to get on the mic, I don't really use my like pen and paper no more. I just say what's on my mind, and like whatever the beat is like saying to me, like I'll just spit back at it based on just what's going on in life. And it's been real cool because I've just been putting songs together in takes, like as if it was a blank canvas with a paintbrush. And I'm just painting words on there. So a lot of it is really just honest material with no filter, man. And I know there's going to be people that are like, man, I can't really play this for my kids, but I know that there's a 16, 17-year-old kids that are going to listen to it anyway because they're going through it. And I think that they need to hear it. So, yeah, man, I'm excited about it. It's really good stuff, man. I read this one kid say on Twitter, he was like, John Givez music makes me feel good about being a young black man. Wow. I was like, I could dig that, because it's too many of us walking around with our heads down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with the criticism that'll come, but I know it's gonna help people.
Inspiring, man. I was doing a wedding, DJing a wedding on Sunday, on Mother's Day, and man, bro, one, the wedding was amazing, but secondly, shout out to Harold. He's probably listening right now too. But I was talking to a guy afterwards, and we were just talking about music and Christian rap, and he said, out of all the Christian rappers that I listen to, he was like, John Givez is the one that resonates with me the most. And I said, wow. I said, why is that, bro? I said, I'm just curious. And he said, man, he's like, I can just connect with him. He's like, I feel like I know him. He was like, there's just an authenticity about him that reminds me so much of things I've been through, things I'm going through, things that my friends have been through, and it just inspires me on so many levels. And I said, man, like, I was like, I wish I could have filmed you saying that and just sent that to him. You know what I mean? Because, that's all of us that create art in some kind of way. That's what you want to do. You want to inspire people, man.
Yeah, bro. I that's the dopest thing, because I guess the reason I make music is to be known, and not to be famous known, but I mean, like, so my heart can be known. You know what I'm saying? And whatever I'm saying, just know it's coming from a heart that meant it. You know what I mean? A heart that's really sincere about what's coming out of it. You know what I'm saying? So as people go along, like, I'm gonna just tell y'all now, it's gonna be cuss words in there, because I use that language. And I really hope people can hear past those words, because I'm not cursing anybody in my words. Like a lot of these other artists are doing that are quote unquote secular. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here putting nobody down. I'm just communicating the way that I've grown up communicating. You know what I'm saying? With no ill intent. It's just the way I talk. So I just need people to get past that factor in the Christian hip hop world. And I'm glad that there's people out there that can hear past it in the songs that have been released and say, man, I feel like I know that dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad there's people that can say that, and I hope that those people can stay along as I keep making this music. You know what I'm saying? But just know that there won't be no filter on it. That's the Christian hip hop filter. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of great artists out there that Christians won't listen to because they have this filter. And I get it, but I think that life don't got a filter. when life hits you, it just hits you.
Yeah, do you feel like you have to use certain language in order to connect with certain people?
No, it's not even about that. I just have to. I have to not use certain language to connect with certain people. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
You feel me?
I feel that.
Like, I gotta not be who I am to connect with y'all, or be who I am and just connect.
Sure. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel A1 about that. I don't feel solid about that. I don't feel cool about the fact that you gotta be in a green room and you could be yourself, but then as soon as you're on that stage, you gotta talk, proper, because it's soccer moms in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
With crosses on their minivans with their kids in the building. You know what I'm saying? And I get that, and I respect every parent out there trying to, raise their kid up right. But I want those individuals that know what they can handle, as far as like what they're listening to, and know what they need to hear. I want those individuals. I don't want a kid to come just because his mom said, "Hey, this is Christian rap going on at the church." I want you to hear it because I don't like the music they're listening to. That kid's gonna listen to the music they want to listen to regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather be the artist that kid found in his room, just being a curious mind, than be the artist that kid was force fed because their mom wanted them to listen.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I think, man, I think, bro, like, I think one of the things that Christianity struggles with, and part of this is because you have some of us who are professional Christians. So it's like,
right.
I mean, and you know what I mean by that. Like, it's like,
yeah. Your profession has a lot to do with your pay.
Yeah. It's like you're a minister of some kind, and no knock to ministers.
And you're getting paid for it.
Exactly. So we're trained to want what we would consider a finished product. No rough edges, no cursing, no smoking, no fornication, no addiction, no struggles, you've already gotten past that, and so you've reached a certain point, so now you can whatever. And I think and I think there are certain qualifications to be a minister or a pastor, so I get that. But I think when we're talking artistry,
I aspire to be none.
Well,
I aspire to be none.
So you see where I'm going. I feel like with artists,
I've seen what that does to men too. I've seen what it does to men that aren't supposed to do that.
Yep.
Or
yep.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen what it does to men. You feel me? Multiple. Yep. And I feel as though with the art, God, my solace in this whole thing, no matter what I say on the record, and people will be like, you're going to be held accountable for your words and your influence, and I'm well aware of it. I'm also going to be held accountable for what I didn't share. I'm going to be held accountable. I'm going to be held accountable for what I hid from them. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like everybody should see me grow. If God's seeing me grow, then everybody else should too. You know what I'm saying? If he sees the uncut, y'all should see it too. Period. And if you can't deal with that, then no love lost. You know what I'm saying? Don't deal with it.
Man, I was doing some Bible study one day, right? And this goes along with what you're saying. I was doing some Bible study one day, and one of the things I realized was that Luke, the book of Acts, written by the same person, Luke, he got a lot of the content from those books from Peter, right?
Yeah.
Now, one of the stories that we all know about Peter is when he denied Jesus. Right? He denied Jesus 3 times at the most critical time. Right?
At the most critical time.
The most critical time, right? Now, Peter could have easily told Luke, nah, bro, don't put that in there. Like, don't put that in there because people may feel a certain way about me. But the reality was that needed to be in there because that's a huge part of the story. There's lessons to be learned, and it's a part of Peter's journey. It's a part of the process.
You feel me? Exactly, bro. Exactly that. If you look all through, you know what's crazy, bro? Yesterday, yesterday this man came up to me. He was like, are you a woken black man? I was like, oh shit. He's like, you know what the Israelites are? I was like, yeah, I know what the Israelites are. He's like, you know where the motherland is? I was like, Africa. He's like, no, brother, it's Israel. And then they told me to watch this video, and I watched it. I checked it out. It was cool.
Yeah.
And I realized something. Just, the dude had shared with me. He was like, the Bible is a history book. He was like, the Bible is a history book. It is the Word of God, but it is a history book. And he was like saying how like when I read it, like all the times I see men fall in that or make the wrong choice, or that speaks to me more because it allows me to put myself in their shoes than me sitting there trying to just know the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Or me trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like I like the stories in it. I go back to those often in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he means when he says meditate on my word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Day and night. I don't think it's necessarily always in the reading. I think it's in the thinking about what you read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of times in the Bible we see, men do something great and then do something dumb right after. You know what I mean? And it's wrote down. It's, you know what I'm saying? To where all of us can see the shame and see where they're heading before they go, and then they do it, and then it's like, oh, why'd you do that, David? Why'd you do that? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. So I feel like people gotta see both of it. They gotta see the real thing, and I feel like a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum, in secular and in sacred, are withholding things that could really bring it all together.
Man, it's so real, bro. It's so real, man. Man, bro, listen, I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate what you're doing. I'm always praying for you because
I appreciate that.
I like, I remember when I very first met you. We did that show together at the Movement, and just to see
braids.
Right, you had the braids. You had the braids.
Them dookie braids. Yeah.
Yeah, you had the braids.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
But it's truthfully, man, just seeing your growth as a man, not even just an artist. I mean, you could always tell you were dope, and you've definitely grown as an artist. But even just seeing you grow as a man, bro, it's real encouraging, man, and inspiring. And like I said, there's so much stuff. Every time we talk, there's stuff I'm learning from you. You know what I mean? And I can't say that about everybody. Just keeping it 100.
Wow.
So, man,
Thank you, bro.
I'm rooting for you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
hey,
I'm really rooting for you, man. I want you to win, bro.
It's good to hear that, bro. It's good to hear that. I hope that in this convo that the people listening have heard my heart. It is not. I'm not out of my mind. I haven't lost my mind. I've been this same dude. I heard Beleaf say it when he was talking to you, man. Like, he knows. I've been this same dude for a minute, you know what I mean? And I'm changing. Don't get me wrong. I'm growing. Don't get me wrong. But, like, just because I got a cigarette in my mouth don't mean I don't know the Lord.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I had a drink in my hand don't mean I don't know the Lord. And I get to talk to a lot of people because I'm not out here trying to act holier than them. And it's been an amazing experience all through the country. Literally, just on, like I just shared with you about the smoke break, you know what I'm saying? Around the corner. Like, it's been situations like that around the country. And that's how I've grown as a man, bro. Like, it's really been, and I'm thankful to Ruslan. I'm thankful to Beleaf because they held my hand while I was growing up. And now I'm at a place where, and they watch me, you feel me, smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, all that stuff through it, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't tell people, like, they kept it to themselves and they just let me grow and figure out what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? And I know they worry about me, like brothers should, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad for all that. I'm grateful to God for all the people He's put in my life, and I just want everybody to know that I have not lost my mind. And as I go along in my career, that it's always going to be from the heart. Always. Always. And Wado, thank you, dog, for just, you know what I'm saying, always being just a positive light, a positive influence every time I see you. You know what I'm saying? Always telling me to keep going from when I was a young kid to now. And it's just dope to be able to talk to you here on May 16th, you know what I'm saying, 2017, and say, hey, look, bro, this is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And know that you've seen it from when I was just the little dude with the dookie braids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, I'm not talking to no stranger right now. I'm talking to somebody who's seen it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's just how real it is for everybody out there listening. This is not a coincidence that I'm in this position at this time, this space, and I'm the person that I am today. It's all for a reason. And the fact that I get to talk to you about it is why I know.
Man, God is good, brother. God is definitely good, man. John, you know, we waiting on the new project, brother. So, you know.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Hey, man, I don't have a date just yet. I'm still, you know, I feel like I got a few more records to make before I can let it go. And just, you know, make sure I slice and dice the project right, package it right. We're working on the artwork right now, putting together some visual content. Everything's like being loaded up in the cannon, and I'm doing it based off everything I learned and all the mistakes we made putting out projects before. I feel like I know what to do now, you know, in order to make something really go. So, you know, yeah, man, it's about to be a beautiful thing when it does drop, and hopefully, you know, end of summer, going into fall. I feel like that's the perfect time to listen to what it sounds like. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. That'd be killer.
Shit.
Well, John, man, thank you, my brother, and you know, man, we'll be checking that new music, G.
All right, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the combo.
Likewise, bro.
On the Way Radio Show. On the Way Radio. On the Way Radio Show, where it's much more than music, it's ministry.